An intriguing event has recently unfolded that has captured the attention of the world. It's a tale that weaves together the threads of international relations, student activism, and the power of words. The stage? None other than the hallowed halls of U.S. universities, where the echoes of anti-Israel protests have been reverberating. These protests, fueled by a fervent sense of justice and the pursuit of peace, have not gone unnoticed. Far from it. They've spurred reactions that have rippled across oceans, reaching the shores of the world's largest democracy, India. Now, it's not uncommon for events in one part of the globe to have implications in another. But what makes this particular saga so captivating is the response it elicited from India's Ministry of External Affairs, the MEA. A response that was not just a rejoinder, but a profound statement that resonated globally. In the face of the protests, India's MEA responded with a stance that was as dignified as it was impactful. They reminded the world that a nation's actions within its own borders are the true measure of its stance. In their own words, they said, "We are judged by what we do at home." What a powerful sentiment, isn't it? A reminder that while it's easy to cast stones from a distance, the real test of a country's character is how it behaves within its own four walls. This statement, simple yet profound, has put a new spin on the ongoing global discourse. It's sparked a slew of conversations, debates, and reflections. It's made us look inwards, question our own actions, and ponder over the dynamics of international relations. This compelling turn of events has sparked conversations around the globe, raising questions and leaving many in anticipation of what will transpire next. The protests that have spread across U.S. universities are not an isolated incident. They are a manifestation of a much larger global issue. The anti-Israel protests that have taken root in the heart of America's academic institutions are born from a complex tapestry of historical, political, and cultural threads. At the heart of these protests lies the long-standing Israeli-Palestinian conflict, a dispute that has spanned over 7 decades. The students and faculty members who raised their voices in these protests aim to highlight the plight of the Palestinians, alleging human rights abuses by the State of Israel. U.S. universities, traditionally seen as bastions of free speech and intellectual discourse, have become the epicenter of these protests. The young, educated minds that populate these institutions have shown a growing commitment to global issues, and the Israeli-Palestinian conflict is no exception. These protests are not confined to the boundaries of the United States. They echo around the globe, reflecting a world increasingly connected by the threads of social media and the internet. From Europe to Asia, from the Middle East to Africa, the voices raised in U.S. universities have found a resonance. The international reactions to these protests have been as diverse as the countries themselves. Some nations have expressed solidarity with the protesters, while others have voiced their support for Israel. The protests have stirred the international community, leading to a variety of responses. Some have chosen to respond with silence, others with words of caution, and still others with vocal support or criticism. These protests undeniably have stirred the international community, leading to a variety of responses. India, however, has presented an interesting perspective in response to these protests. The Ministry of External Affairs, in a stirring statement, declared, "We are judged by what we do at home." This response, seemingly simple, carries a profound undertone. In essence, it suggests that the actions a country undertakes internally, its policies, its treatment of its citizens, form the true measure of its character and principles. Rather than focusing on international events, the emphasis should be on addressing domestic issues and fostering an environment of peace and justice at home. The statement also subtly indicates India's stance on the issue. It implies a non-interventionist approach, a respect for the sovereignty of nations, while also underlining the importance of introspection. It's about looking inward, rectifying one's own issues before casting judgment on others. India's standpoint, therefore, doesn't simply add to the chorus of voices. It invites us to rethink the way we perceive global events and our reactions to them. India's response to the protest has indeed added a new dimension to this global conversation. The ripple effects of this event are still being felt around the world. The aftershock of India's response has been palpable, with reactions ranging from applause to criticism. Some admire India for standing its ground, while others question the implications of such a stance. Yet this event, like many before it, underscores an essential aspect of international relations. That is, the importance of understanding and respect. In a globalized world, the actions of one nation can have far-reaching consequences, influencing not just political dynamics but also shaping public opinion. India's response has certainly stirred the pot, prompting us to consider the weight of our actions on the global stage. It's a reminder that as nations, we are interconnected, and our actions can echo far beyond our borders. As we move forward, it's essential to remember not just the power of our actions, but also the value of empathy, understanding, and respect. These values should guide us as we navigate the complex web of international relations. As we watch this story continue to unfold, it's clear that the world is watching, and indeed we are judged by what we do at home. Thank you for accompanying us on this insightful journey into India's viral response. We hope this exploration has provoked thought and increased your understanding of the complexities of international relations. If you found this content valuable, we invite you to join our growing community. Click the subscribe button and tap the bell icon to stay updated with more compelling narratives from around the world. Your support helps us bring you these stories that matter, and we appreciate it more than words can express. Until our next adventure, remember, stay curious, keep exploring, and never stop learning about our interconnected world. Thank you.